Oh hey, my name is Bill Alexander and today I'm going to teach you how to create layers in Photoshop. Let's get started. Okay, so today we're going to be going over layers in Photoshop. So what you're going to want to do is create a new file, File New. I just want this to be bigger, so I'm going to make it 8 by 8 because I don't know. And first thing you're going to see is a background layer that's locked. What you could do, or I like to do, is just double click, hit enter, and you're good to go. Like, it's no longer locked. Right down here you'll see icons, and to make a new layer you hit this one, and now you have a new layer. This one is transparent, this is white. You start off with white when you start a new project. If you disable this, you'll notice behind you'll see a checker mark, and everything that's checkered means it's transparent. So you can't see it, there's no light, there's no nothing. It's just all alpha, which means it's invisible. It's not there. So we'll turn this back on. And what we're going to do is use the brush tool, and I'm going to show you how layers operate. So we're going to do some complicated drawing right here and just, that's our first layer. And we're going to go make a new, just use a new color. You can do that up here too. And we're just going to draw over bleh. And everything in the foreground, or everything on top is the foreground, everything to the bottom is like the background. So that's the hierarchy of how this works. So if we move this down here, you'll notice it's now behind there, behind the red. If we got rid of the background layer, you see the checker mark, so it's nothing's there. So yeah, that's much the very basics of layers. Just stacking and stacking as much as you want. I'm sure there's a limit. I don't remember what it was, but this is a masterpiece right here. And let's start off, and we're going to give Wolverine, I'm going to show you how to, oh wait, I'm not really going to show you how if it's not like that already, so let me just do something real quick. I'm not going to explain this because we need to use this for an example. Okay, so what we need to do here is give Wolverine someone to mourn, because someone close to him died. Let's find someone close to Wolverine that maybe he misses that died. Here we go. Perfect. Justin Bieber. So what we did, let me go back. What I did was I right-clicked on the image from the internet, went to copy image, and I'm going back into Photoshop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it in here, which is, I like to do that because I don't have to save it on the hard drive that way, but you can do it either way. And if you did it from the hard drive and you want to place your image in the program, what you would do is you go to File, and then you would go to Place. And then you would just open the file that you want to place in this document. But instead, what we are going to do is we're going to paste it. So usually what you could do is go to Edit, Paste, and it'll paste whatever is in your clipboard, which is right now that image. But we can take a shortcut and just do Command V, and on Windows it's, I think, Control V, but yeah, whatever. As you can see, his head's too big in more ways than one. So what we're going to do is we're going to transform this down. And to transform it, there's different ways. You can go to Edit, you can go to transform, free transform. There's different kinds of transforms, but right now we're going to use a shortcut. We're going to do Command T, which on Windows would be Control T, I think. Control T. And while we're in image mode, from Command T, we can hold. We're going to go to this edge right here. We're going to hold Shift and Shift and Alt, and then you want to click with the left mouse and move it down. You can see how it scales really nicely. So we want to do that a little bit more. We can move it after we've scaled it. Maybe move it right around here, so we know how big it might need to be. I'll make it a little bit bigger just so we have safety room. And when you're done and you're happy where it is, you're going to hit Enter. So now we're out of transform mode. Over here, what you can do is turn on and off layers with these little eyeballs. So he's there, he's not there. He's there, he's gone. He's here, he's gone. So let's make him gone for a while. What we're going to do is we're going to zoom in by holding or by pushing, or hold Command and plus to zoom in. I'm going to scroll down, and we're going to go to this layer right here, and we're going to grab. I assume that you've played around with these tools from the tutorials I've been posting, and this one right here is a selection tool that lets you select by using edges. Creates lines, and what you do after you've done this, you just double click and you've made a selection. So here we're going to get rid of the blue. There are different ways to do things in Photoshop. This is one way. This is the normal way. What you could do if you wanted to get more complex is select by color, but yeah, that's for a different day. Yeah, so we're going to start by clicking the corners, and you can zoom in. I'm holding Command plus, like I said before, and if you want to zoom out, Command minus. And we're going to just clicky all around the hand. This is one of my favorite ways of doing it, even though it's kind of time consuming. So just let me finish this and we can continue. Shouldn't take too long. It's really simple. Just gotta go around the edges. And if you feel like you need more, if you miss something, what you can do is you can hold the Shift button, and you got your thing again. You just hold Shift and click, and then go to the areas that you think you've missed, like this. And if you miss more, you can always just mask it out, but that's more advanced stuff. Sorry, I got a Mac, so I'm using 2 fingers to roll around, if you're wondering how I'm doing this. And what you can also do, in addition to adding on with holding the Shift, you can hold the Alt button to subtract. So say we want to subtract this area, double click, you can do that. So, but if you don't like that, you can hold Command Z to undo your mistake. And just want to get this one little spot here. Okay, now we're going to zoom out, Command minus. Now we have the option of either masking this out, which is a non-destructive, very good way to, do your work in Photoshop, or you can hit the delete button, which will delete this area and leave it transparent, but you will lose all this data. If you were masking it, you can always go back and fix things up. But that's a different lesson. That's more advanced stuff. So let's just hit the delete key for now. And we still have these little ants rolling around. That's what, so what we can do is you can grab your selection tool, just click once outside of that, and that's gone. So let's bring up Bieber again, and he's above the layer that we were just working in. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag that layer and put it below. And now we just adjust it with our selection tool. You got to make sure that you don't get your transparent layer in the background showing. And that's pretty much how layers work. If you wanted to skew this a little bit so it looks a bit more realistic, you can go, while your layer is selected, you can go to Edit, Transform, Distort, and you can just sort of mess with the sides here. It's not really going to do much for this, but in a lot of cases you can use this to your advantage pretty well. So yeah, whatever, we don't need to mess with that. So Command Z, whatever. Yeah, let's go into the next. Oh, well, actually, let's go over adjustment layers right here. These are very helpful for non-destructive color corrections. And by non-destructive, I mean you can also go back and change things. If you wanted to go over to image and go here to do adjustments, it's a very bad idea. Never go to image adjustments and use these. Always just do it here. Always. So what we're going to do is we're going to make, let's change the hue and saturation. And it's a layer that goes above these, and you'll notice that it's an adjustment layer by the icon that you see here. And yeah, changes the color wheel. It just everything. Something you probably wouldn't want to use for this kind of project unless you wanted it to look really bad. But yeah, let's say we didn't want this affected. We wanted just the background affected. What we would do is make sure that this adjustment layer is above the layer that you want only adjusted. So there's this icon right here in that adjustment window that'll only affect the bottom one. It won't affect this one, which is, yeah, see it? Yeah, so it's really useful for, a variety of different things you may need it for. You can drag that below and it'll affect this one only. Change saturation, make it look terrible. Change it to black and white, make it look meaningful, whatever. Yeah, so, okay. And once again, we've already covered this, but just another quick example. Copy an image, and then Command V. That ended up behind this layer, so you're not going to see it. So you want to drag it above. There you go. There's also something called a layer mode, blending mode, that is kind of a nice thing to use once in a while if you want a certain effect. There's multiply. It's kind of hard to describe what these do exactly on a technical basis, but just kind of understand what they do if you just kind of mess around with them in different things. After a while, you get an idea of what they're capable of. Yeah, so you see how it's adding more saturation to certain areas. If you turn this on and off, you can see the effect it had. Soft light. Generally, I would never use exclusion or difference. Unless there's some instances or situations you might need it, but rarely ever would you want to use any of these. Most of the time you want to focus on like either using multiply, color burn, lighten screen, or overlay, soft light. These are like the ones that people usually use for projects, or even this. But yeah, some of these you'll find that you'll never use, like ever, especially dissolve out. That doesn't do anything there for some reason, but okay. So just make that normal. And okay, what else? I think that's about it. Yeah. So let's see. Did I cover everything? Oh, and as a safety precaution, what you want to do when you're starting a project and you got a photo, you want to duplicate your layer. So what you can do to do, like say we're starting out with this, and this is how our project started. You might want to duplicate your layer just so you have a safety and you can go back to it in case you screw up the other one. However, maybe you were using the brush tool and you did this and you didn't have enough, Command Z undos to fix it up, or whatever stupid mistake you make. You should always just click and drag this layer, whatever layer you want, bring it to the new layer icon, and it'll duplicate that for you. It's really helpful. And this icon over here is just for grouping. So if you wanted to like throw layers in there, it's a nice way to organize what you've got. Yeah, it's not. Layer masks are more advanced. That's the trash. That's for linking layers, but let's just stick with. Right now, all you should know is just how to make a new layer. And grouping is like I said, a nice way to, not just a nice thing to know, just keeps your workspace clean. It's good for organizing what you've got. Yeah. So that concludes the tutorial. Like and share this video to 10 people. And if you don't, I will design a machine that will tumble your body down an internal flight of carpeted stairs so you die by carpet burn and broken limbs. Okay, thank you.